Hello, this is Lisa Thompson again. I'm here talking about this new fabulous thing I have discovered, which is called Screen-O-Matic, which allows you to video record exactly what you are doing and seeing while on the line, which could help you in PDs, could also help during instruction, where you can actually do step by step and your followers can watch along as you do it, or they could actually perform the same task that you are doing and see exactly what you're doing and how you are maneuvering through this website or through some type of activity. So what I'm going now, I'm still at SC Leads, this teacher evaluation database management system. So I'm going to log in, and today I want to talk about how to record a teacher's observations and put it in the evaluation phase. So here I am. I'm going to go across it and go to my tab for evaluations. I'll scroll down and select my teacher. Here we see that already one of her observations has been recorded, which is the one done by a teacher of the same either content area or grade level coming to observe her and has already placed her information into SC Leads. So now it is my turn. So we're going to go scroll down and we're going to click on observations. Here under observations, you'll notice too that they say that she has, because she is an annual teacher, she has to have two observations, two announced in the fall and two unannounced in the spring. So one of the fall observations has already been complete. So now we're going to walk through it and go through. We're going to add an observation. We're going to add my observation. All right. Very simple. It is observation. As you see here, it's the fall semester. We're going to put in the date of the observation. I'm going to backdate this one for us. I'm going to put in the time. If we can put it in correctly. Oh my goodness. Having an issue here today. Let's see if I can move myself on the screen here. I want to correct that. There we go. Oh, goodness me. All right. Oh, I'm sitting here definitely having some issues today. All right. Now, here we have, my name is already there. We have our school, and we're using the 4.0 standards. And I hit submit. We can go back here and check to make sure everything is filled out correctly. If I had not done went back and did the date right then, I could go back and edit it later. Let's see, read back and edit. So, we can't talk about the pre-conferencing. All right, we're going to go back to where we were talking about before. We're going to go back to that pre-conference section. Sorry, I timed out. I had to step away from the computer for a moment. So let's go back to during the pre-conference. Let's go back to our teacher. And under observations, okay, right here it is. Now we're going to start that. We're going to start that up. Excuse me. Start my observation. Now I am I'm going to go into my details. And back here where we talked about pre-conferencing, and then we already started that part. Pre-conferencing editing sheet. All right. Now, what I'm looking at now is the date that we had our pre-conference. Pre-conference is set 3 days before the actual, there you go, set 3 days before the actual conference began. So we're going to go back, and we had the pre-conference on the 31st. Okay. And we were headed that morning. Sorry. Time is not on my side these days, is it? Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to go 9 o'clock. That's it. All right. Here in this box, I can actually, after I have received my the lesson, I can actually go in and then put questions in that I intend to ask during the actual conference itself. All right, now we are ready to go and actually start with the evaluation and filling out that evaluation. So we're going to go back down here and find our teacher. Click on details. It's going to take us to an evaluation. We're going to go straight down here where it says observations. As I said before, we had one completed observation here. So now we're going to come down here where it says mine is started. I put in the basic information. Now I need to go in and complete it. So hit details. We've already gone through. I talked about the pre-conferencing. I am not going to put in my pre-conferencing notes right now, but I want to go in and talk about the scoring and the scripting part. Scripting is when you could, like in 4.0, where they ask you to actually go in and actually tell exactly what the teacher said versus what the student said, and going back and forth that way. If there's something that was noteworthy, I would put it in here, but I'm going to go on to the scoring portion. Here in the scoring portion, this is where I rated the teacher. I always do a paper copy first, and then I transfer it onto the computer here. In her instructional plans, when I looked at her plans that she gave me, she was able to, her plans were right on task with standards and in a very neat and precise order. So she received the 4. And if you notice over here, I could, if I wanted to, go in and make reference to the notes that I put in that might indicate why she received a 4 for that. And I can go back and do that in a bit. The student work, I'm giving a 3, and I'll go back and tell you a little bit later, or I would have gone ahead and said the reason they got a 3 is because the students weren't, their work was, they did more conversation, but not an actual sit down and reflect on what you were doing. And it was more casual where they were talking among themselves, and the teacher did not get as much feedback as I think she probably could have used, especially broaching this, which was a new topic talking about motif versus theme. And this was the introduction part of the lesson. So they were just kind of at that point scratching the surface. In her assessment, again, I'm going to give her a 3 on that one because the fact that there was nothing formal, it was more talk. So she doesn't have anything to actually put down and say what exactly the students were thinking and doing at that point. She did receive a 4 for her standards and objectives. They were printed up on the wall. She had her I can statement that students could repeat and tell us and paraphrase what they were supposed to be doing and what they were learning at that point in time. Were the students motivated? Yes, she included a Taylor Swift video as part of her introduction, so the kids were motivated and they were ready to go. She had a very good presentation for her content. She's very strong in giving her content, being direct, and giving it to the kids in language that they understand. Her pacing, she also received a 4. Because she moves quickly and smoothly. This lesson lasted about 35 minutes. Her activities, I gave a 3 because I wish there was more time for her to meet more with the kids and be able to hear what they were saying, because a lot of the discussions were muffled and in between the students, and so we couldn't verify exactly what was being said. Also, this is why she earned a 3 in the questioning and the academic feedback areas, because when the students were talking, she couldn't hear everything that everyone was saying. So when she gave feedback, I got more of a good job, or that sounds good, or I like what you said, but not actual academic feedback, not giving her reasons, like having them to justify why they came up with that and having them to think out and rationalize their answers. Grouping was great. The students worked well together. No, he said, she said things, no bumping, no. They seemed to work well together. They talked to each other in a nice, respectful manner. She did know her content, even though this was a new topic for her, and being only a second-year teacher, she was able to get her point across very well. To me, as an administrator and an adult, it's yet to be seen if the kids picked up on it as well as I did. On teacher knowledge of students, she did. I noticed that when certain activities they were turning and talking, she made sure to one child was turned in the wrong direction, to redirect, to go stand by that kid. I noticed some cues that she was giving the students. I give her a 3 on that thinking part, because again, that goes back to the questioning. I don't think the activities elevated the children to think deeper. Most of their answers were surface related. And also we're going to do a 3 on the problem solving portion of this, because also, like I said, it wasn't a lot of in-depth thing, but this was the first lesson in this series, and hopefully it will become more in-depth as we move along. In her environment, she did a great job of managing her students. Her expectations were high. She knew what she wanted them to do, and they were able to carry out what that she expected of them. The environment was respectful. It was calm. It was peaceful. Engaging, lots of student-led materials on the wall, and the students were respectful. They listened. They followed her cues and listened and did what she asked them to do. So here I've completed my portion of the evaluation. Here on the self-reflection portion, this is where the teacher has to go back in and put in her reflection, and she will score herself at this point in time. And once she puts her in her reflection, then I can go in and we meet with the other evaluator for her, and we will come have a consensus meeting. It's quite simple to do this. So going back to putting in an evaluation, it is quite simple. And as you can see, I could do it and talk to you and maneuver through this at the same time. So I think that is the best way. Really enjoyed using this tool, and will definitely use it again. This is Elisa Thompson for EAM 799. This is my PD on working with the brand new tool I'm going to use more often, utilize more often, Screencast.